Welcome to C10 Talk, your C10 Truck podcast. Here's your host, Ronnie Welch.
What up? First Ride Friday. Cheers, my brothers, my sisters. C10 Nation. Little First Ride Friday with Adam Pitale. Adam is the founder and chief detailer over there at Adam's Polishes. He's a jet setter, man. That guy moves, he shakes, he hustles, he bustles, he makes it look fun. I know it probably is not near as fun as he makes it look. I mean, it's fun because he loves it, but it's a lot, and he's got kids. So we'll get into all that next week, Tuesday, with Adam, and just happy that we were able to make it work out. We kind of been hitting and missing just the last couple weeks, but we made it work. So First Ride Friday, August 24th, 2018. This is number 5. Let me know if you guys are digging the First Ride Friday. I think it's fun just because I think we get to know who's next. We get to hear stories kind of like us, you know, maybe they had a cool car, maybe they didn't have a cool car, maybe they had a truck, maybe it was a C10. You know, we could be so lucky, but it is cool to think how the first ride, your first car, kind of shapes a little bit of who you are, you know, and some of the struggles you might go through with it. You know, maybe I don't like it, or maybe I'm going to fix it up no matter what. And how much fun you do have, and if you have it for, you know, a short time or something you keep for a long while. I wonder who all still has maybe their first ride. You know, it's like, oh yeah, I've kept it for years and years. I never got rid of it. That's, I would think, very highly unlikely. Maybe if it was like a family heirloom or something, and you know, came from grandpa or dad, kind of like my sons, and that it'd be like, I don't know if you should really get rid of that. I know a lot of guys wish they had their first rides back, so that's kind of a cool thing as well. So, as always, this is brought to you by Precision Replacement Parts. If you are looking to seal your build up right, and you need to get some new vent seals, belt line moldings, anything with your windshield, you know, look for that Precision Replacement Parts packaging. Ask for it. If you go back here, we had our sponsor spotlight, and Derek was on there talking a lot about different products that they have. They do have some new products coming out. He talks about that. And then their vent seal program. That's kind of a cool thing where you can take out your vent, your wing windows, and send them off, and they'll rebuild them for you and then send them on back. So I know some guys have tried it, and it's a little bit of work. But I know most guys are pretty handy and they get it done. So you can check them out on YouTube. You can check them out, obviously, on social media, Facebook, Instagram. It's Precision Replacement Parts, and their website is prp.com. They've made it easy. Their website, I'll tell you guys, I remember their old one. I looked at it. It wasn't all that great. Their new one, it's pretty kick-ass. So check them out, prp.com. And I tell you what, if you're going to a show, they'll be at C10s in the park or C10s in the trailer park. They'll be out there. We'll be out there. And they're pretty easy to talk to. They love to talk to guys about what they have available for you. So hit them up at a show if they're there, and talk to them. Tell them what your concerns are, what you're looking for, and let them know. Also, usmags.com, us-mags. Talk to Mario and drop that as well. So much going on. He talked a little bit about that new wheel, the Boulevard, and you know, he had a little bit to do with that, his styling. The cool thing about our sponsor spotlight with Mario was just how US Mags obviously is a division, and how much influence that either he received from, you know, their parent, or whether or not they are influencing, you know, other lines. Like he kind of talked a little bit about fuel. MHT stuff is the big dog. So we're pretty stoked that US Mags has such killer wheels. And, you know, I'm challenging you. Go over there to that website, us-mags.com, and check it out. You're going to find something that you like. I guarantee it. Supreme Classics are really nice. You know, it depends on, you know, if you're one piece, two piece, you like billet, polished. I like a lot of the Resto Mod stuff. You know, they got really cool styles. If you didn't see Frito-Lay is going to have some US Mags on it. So the tow truck that just came out on Street Truck. So I'll be kind of releasing more of Frito-Lay here as we go. But US Mags is involved with that, so I'm pretty stoked about that. First Ride Friday with Adam, August 24th, You guys have a great weekend. We'll be back on Tuesday with Adam's full episode. You know the deal. Share it, love it, like it, let us know, and stay tuned. We got some stuff. You guys were getting ready to go out to C10s in the park or C10s in the trailer park, however you want to look at it. It's a good time in Waxahachie, Texas. That's the 15th. We'll be out there slinging gear, slinging stickers. We got new stickers. I tell you what, man, we got I got a brand new one, new C10 Talk retro design. We got the tape deck back in, or the cassette tape. We got the axles. So if you guys are looking for those four-wheel drive trucks or Blazers and you're like, well, why do you always have the two-wheel drive stuff? Well, we can hook you up. We can hook you up with a couple axles and make it look pretty bitchin' with a little off-road stance, however you guys want to set it up. But remember, too, in NorCal is the C10 Intervention. So it ended up kind of being the same weekend. But on the 16th, up in, I think it's like Woodland is the area. I'm not exactly sure the city. I know it's at a park. But Drop Lower, Tony from C10 Club Sacramento, and then the one and only John Orrell. They'll all be running that one, the C10 Intervention, on September 16th. So the 15th, C10's in the park. And 16th is going to be C10 Intervention. Again, we'll see you guys on Tuesday. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. All right, guys. First Ride Friday with Adam Pitale. Adam, you might not know that whole name, but you're going to know Adam's Polishes. And Adam, thanks for coming on the show. Tell us about your first ride, the car, the make, the model, and what it meant to you.
Well, I had a pretty cool first ride, honestly. I had a 1965 Ford Mustang convertible. I had a 289 3-speed automatic, and my dad had bought it. It was a total piece of crap, and basically it had no convertible fabric on the no vinyl on the convertible, the metal top, and there was a hole in the floor from rust, and basically it was pretty trash. And I ended up in a pretty cool situation. My dad and I went through that car, and we replaced the suspension, sent it out for paint, dialed it all in, and by the time I was 15, that Mustang was ready to roll. So I was I felt like pretty much a spoiled little shite in high school, rolling around in a bright red convertible Mustang, and in Dana Hills High School in Dana Point, California. And it was a pretty cool rig. Lots of donuts in Dana Hills High School parking lot. I got in trouble twice, had to pay to re-stripe the parking lot once. But anyway, it was a good deal. I liked it a lot.
That makes me think exactly of the saying of, I did all my shit before there was cameras and social media, so we got away with a lot more than nowadays, where somebody, how they knew it was you, I don't know. Somebody obviously ratted it out, but if there would have been cameras, you probably would have been restriping a lot more than just parking lots.
Oh, there was cameras. I'd probably still be in jail.
So was this something that your dad thought, this will be cool for my son? This would be, or did you say you had an interest in Mustangs, or was it a family car, or how did your dad acquire it?
It was one of those deals, kind of the happy accident. He bought this thing. He liked the Mustang. He wanted a light yellow Ford Mustang convertible, and he was a guy who was sort of in a transitional period in his life. He had bought a company that was bankrupt and was trying to put it back together. And, he was an educator before that. So he was just kind of, he was low on dough, and he needed a car to get around in a little bit. So he started I bought this company that was, it was a vocational college in Southern California, and it was just down and out. He just needed a set of wheels, to be honest. And then he turned it around pretty quick and made it good. So this car turned from his main transportation, which he used for a couple of years. And then he said, okay, let's make it cool. I turned 13 years old, and it was like, let's time to make something cool. And then boom, by the time I was, driving age, we turned this thing around. So it was kind of a happy accident. I lucked out that thing turned out from his daily driver to something that he thought would be a cool deal for his kid. And then the funniest thing, I turned 16, and my dad's like, this car's probably too much car for you. And I don't know if it was the first call from the school saying, hey, your son's doing donuts like crazy, what's going on? Or the calls from the other kids' parents, because I'd spun the car out a couple of times in the rain on the way to school, and just being an idiot, But damn, I had fun. So it was well worth it.
So did he end up taking it, or did you keep it for quite a while?
Oh, I kept it. But I had a car detailing business in high school that was pretty busy. And the Mustang wasn't really a great car to detail out of. The trunk wasn't that big. It wasn't like a good vehicle to detail out of. So when I was 16 years old, and I ended up buying, you'll love this, a Mitsubishi Minivan, one of the worst, ugliest minivans of all time. But I had a pretty busy little business in high school. I had a couple of guys working for me that I went to the local community college, Saddleback Community College, and I just needed them to be able to get to the, we did mostly limousine detailing. We did that, and bottom line, I needed something that was a little bit more serious for business. So, man, I was driving the minivan. We called it the Toaster. I'm going to send you a picture of it. It's hilarious. I had, instead of any logos on it, I had this giant vinyl lettering cut out in the back that said "Smile!" exclamation point. And I just drove around we called it the Toaster. The Toaster was the way to go. So I had the Toaster, I had the Mustang, and then my dad bought a 1985, pretty much brand new 1985 Toyota 4Runner. SR5, bright red with a black top, four-wheel drive, had the little gauges on the dashboard, the tiltometer, so if you're going to tip over or not. Anyway, I think it was pretty cool. So I drove that a whole bunch too, because that was again another kind of an extra car in the family. So I was driving around the Toaster, the 4Runner, and I kept the Mustang until I graduated from high school, and then sold it to go away to college.
So with this Mustang, first of all, it sounds like your dad has amazing taste in cars, and you with the Toaster, maybe not so much, at least at an early age. But that SR5, I mean, those things I still see those in Cali rolling around. They look like they're in mint shape. The Mustang, did you and your dad get your hands dirty on that? It sounds like you guys kind of had a little father-son project out of that.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. No, we did. Basically after dinner, we'd work from 8 o'clock until maybe 10 o'clock on school nights working on it. We replaced leaf springs, coil springs, went through and did the interior. We went through the whole interior, and then all of everything that needed to be prepped for paint, we went through and did all that stuff. We block sanded it. We did a little bit of Bondo, and then we realized that Bondo is not the answer. So we had the body shop. Once it went in for paint, they actually took all the Bondo that we threw in there and said, listen, that is a half-assed job I've ever seen one. We're replacing these panels with fresh metal. We're like, all right, fine. So they did. They replaced the panels. They didn't like our half-assed garage midnight Bondo work. So, but anyway, it came together real nice. The craziest thing is we didn't do anything to the engine except for make it look beautiful. Put chrome valve covers on it. Put the Shelby. Actually they were aluminum. They were the aluminum fin Shelby valve covers, and I had a chrome air cleaner on the 289. It was kind of the original 289 Hypo GT style setup. And the car, I drove it like I stole it every single day. And for whatever reason, the motor and the transmission lasted through 3 years of just serious abuse. I mean, ridiculous amounts of donuts, ridiculous amounts of burnouts. I raced everyone and thinking that the car was fast. And it wasn't, probably wasn't particularly fast at all. I got beat by RX-7s and all these other cars, but the car was bulletproof. It was a really strong runner, and lowered the front end a little bit and had it the stance was just right. Had the 65 Mustang, the styled steel wheels. That was the look with the little red caps in the middle. Little white walls. And another thing that was amazing, testament to Michelin, the Michelin X radials. By the way, you can do burnouts for years on Michelin X radials, and they will not wear all the way out. It's amazing.
Oh, there's a commercial right now. That's even better. Now, I don't know if you said it, but I'm assuming it was like a 4-speed on the floor, or was it an automatic?
It was an auto. It was a 3-speed. I want to say it was the C6. It was the numerals on that tranny, but it was an automatic, which didn't make it a whole bunch more fun to drive, but it definitely kept me out of being able to. I definitely had a more than one occasion of 6 or 8 people in that thing, and 3 or 4 girls sitting across the front, and a bunch sitting up across the back over at the up on sort of the convertible boot, sitting up on top, feet inside, hopefully not poking holes in the seat. But it was one of those deals where the auto was the right move for me to keep me a little bit further from the jail cell.
Well, yeah, it sounds like it probably helped the tires and maybe a little bit more of that pinstriping. I think we're just about the same age, and I'll tell you what, a friend of mine in high school had a 66 convertible, and we all thought that was probably one of the coolest cars, and the nostalgia of it and just the reputation of a Mustang. Same thing. We would go to like drive-ins, sit in it, and the girls would sit up on that boot where the top would kind of lay back, and it's kind of one of those things where you look back and you probably thought you were a little cooler than you really were, but at the time you thought you were pretty cool, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, big in my own mind.
All right, Adam, we're going to wrap up on First Ride Friday. Thanks for getting this thing going. You guys, we'll be right back with Adam. We're going to talk about Adam's Polishes, the company, some tech, and a whole lot more. We'll be right back.